It's that time once again, as another My Hero Academia episode has come and gone. And my goodness, does this one set the stage for something special. My reviews are going to work in a way where I talk about the new episode and its contents while glancing over what I think was cool. Talk about my favorite character and cool moments in the episode, and then if I feel like there's anything worth mentioning in regards to, I'll also talk about my least favorite character and moment. At this point though, I just want to get right into things here and unpack all that happened here. As is a normal thing with two core anime, it seems as though the storyline of the first half of My Hero Academia Season 4 is entering its big battle, and it is surely shaping up to be a big deal. This episode opens up at UA, with Deku and the other students partaking in a wall climbing exercise. While completing the task, Deku is thinking to himself about how he and his fellow work-study partners, who are currently involved in the overhaul investigation, are unable to talk to others about what they're up to. Deku's classmates are finding it pretty obvious that there is something going on, so much to the point where Bakugo is even wanting to know despite his prior desire to not hear about things he can't participate in. A flashback brings us back to the latest episode with something we didn't see. That being Eraserhead admitting to his students that they probably won't play roles in this rescue that are as big as that of the big three, since they're about on the level of regular pro heroes. He offers his students, aside from Deku, if they'd like to back out since they were brought into this not under their own volition. But they naturally aren't even thinking about it. Eraserhead reconfirms the fact that their mission is going to rescue Eri, and that is it. And that if even a hint of the League of Villains getting involved comes to light, that he is pulling the plug on the students being involved. He does admit, however, that the police and investigators don't believe the League is going to be involved in this, so he says all should be fine. Back at UA, Deku is still dealing with the mental stress of worrying about Eri, as well as his inability to really do much for All Might right now, with everything going on, not even being able to talk to him about the investigation. Ida and Todoroki are having lunch with Deku and notice his odd space behavior, and Ida decides to reach out to his friend with the same words of support Deku gave him back in Season 2. If you ever feel hopeless, let me know. We're friends, right? Deku begins to tear up and internally thanks Ida for being so caring, even though that he can't share with him what is on his mind. Deku apologizes for crying, saying that isn't what heroes do, but Todoroki comments that he believes even heroes cry when they need to, probably. We cut over next to a montage of pro heroes scoping out facilities owned by Overhaul's group, starting off with Rocklock, whose quirk is revealed to be something like the stasis mechanic from Breath of the Wild, where he can pause things in the midair and use them for platforms or other things of that nature. Things switch over to a stakeout with Fat Gum, and then again to a couple of other heroes like Ryoku, Centipeter, and Bubble Girl. We even have a look in with Gran Torino, who gets a phone call telling him half of the places that heroes have been searching are cleared. Finally, a few days later in the middle of the night, a phone alert goes out to everyone involved, letting them know that the time to move is coming up. Sir Night-Eye has discovered where Eri is being held, and it's a stronghold under Overhaul's residence. Apparently, Sir Night-Eye managed to tail the same member of Overhaul's group that we saw back in the post-credits scene of the last episode and followed him into a toy store. While in there, he overheard him asking for toys that are clearly for a little girl. When the time was right, Night-Eye tapped him on the shoulder and handed him the toy he was looking for. Using his quirk right there as a locked eyes. With the use of Sir Night-Eye's foresight, he was able to see into the future and track where this guy was going, and was led right to Eri. A search warrant has been put together with the police, and the raid on Overhaul's compound is set to happen immediately. Togata is extremely pumped up once again, as the idea that he and Deku will be able to right their mistake is absolutely fueling him. Night-Eye comments to himself that while it was incredibly hard for Togata to let Eri go back with Overhaul the first time they met, his actions that day allowed the heroes to plan and be completely prepared to save her later on. He thinks back to using his foresight on All Might as he lay on a hospital bed with machines hooked up to him after the fight with All for One that left him so damaged. While Night-Eye doesn't know if you can change the future, he is positive that you can indeed change the past. Overall and his group are able to figure out pretty quickly that the police and heroes are going to be descending on them at any moment, and yet it doesn't seem like he is all worried about it. In fact, he just tells his underlings to continue according to the plan, and steps out saying he needs to take care of something real quick. We cut back to the heroes of the police going over to what they're going to do, and the plan is laid out simply to get Eri out of the building above all else. Deku notices Gran Torino is nowhere to be found, but is told by a detective that he apparently is off working with other police. They are tracking the League of Villains who are reportedly on the move at the moment. Eraserhead walks over to Deku and lets him know that he'll be working with the Night-Eye agency during this job, thus keeping his word that he'll have an eye on him while this is going on. The scene again cuts back to Overhaul, who has entered a room with a man hooked up to what seems like life support. Overhaul refers to him as Pops, and while I can't confirm nor deny if that is Overhaul's true father or not, it seems like there's a pretty strong chance it is. He apologizes for how noisy it's about to get. He isn't kidding either, as in the very next scene, the police and heroes are at the compound ready to serve a warrant when one of Overhaul's men busts out through the gates and knocks back a ton of people. This guy is an absolute unit, and there's only one hero among the group that can reach up to his size. We're finally shown what Ryoku's quirk is, and it quite literally turns her into a dragon. She becomes massive and she's able to hold down the villain long enough for everyone else to storm in. The episode closes out with the heroes and police charging through a very tiny bit of resistance and a focus on Deku and Togata as they're determined to smash through and save Eri. And the posting credits scene, one of Overhaul's men comments that he can hear a group of people moving in tandem together, deducing that they know where they're going and probably have the exact location of where they are. Overall shrugs it off and just figures that they can twist the narrative into the heroes acted violently on their own. He has put together a group called the 8 Bullets, and they'll be used to fight the heroes for now, so that he can escape with Eri without a problem. In the preview for the next episode, it looks as though things are going to be all about the Big Three Sun Eater, showing off him and his quirk and also his history of Tagada and how the friendship came to be. It definitely looks like we'll be in for a good mix of backstory and action next time, and I'm really looking forward to it. So my favorite character this time around was probably Deku, as once again we were subjected to watching Deku go through a hard time in his mind regarding the many issues he is having to deal with. While he surely believes that when the time comes he'll be able to save Eri, he is very much dealing with the pressure of needing to wait for the right time to come. In a lot of shonen anime, the main character might have already disregarded pre-planned ideas and rules to go out on their own and try to solve the problem with brute force and end up either just barely pulling things off with a miracle or feeling miserably and making things harder for everyone else. In the case of Deku, it's a little refreshing to watch him deal with the stress of needing to stay within the rules, while also knowing there's a good chance he'll pull things off with either a miracle or not at all. We all know this same song and dance of shonen anime. However, I think the journey to the already known destination will be a good one. My favorite moment in the episode was Deku, Ida, and Todoroki sharing a moment at lunch. It was pretty heartwarming to be reminded of the friendship Deku and Ida have, even though the latter hasn't been featured much this season. To have a nice, heartwarming scene like this, if only for a moment, was very much needed, and it helps set us up for what could be quite a few action-packed and yet bleak couple of episodes ahead. That's gonna do it for my review of My Hero Academia Season 4 Episode 7, Go. If you guys enjoyed this one, let me know down in the comments below, and subscribe to Mystic Sage and notifications on so you don't miss my review on the 4th season's next great episode. I've already got a lot of great videos about My Hero Academia already on the channel, and about plenty of other anime as well, with more to come. I hope you guys have been enjoying these reviews, and the show so far as well, and I'll be back at it with a review of the next exciting My Hero episode real soon.